Are you a high achieving and accomplished professional who's ready to stop feeling anxious so you can up level your life? I'm Dr. Cindy Tsai. I'm a physician, life coach, and speaker, and I love helping high achievers get more of what they want in life without struggle or hustle, but to do it with a sense of calm and ease. Make sure to subscribe to my channel below to get more tips to feel better. Today, I want to talk about how to stop anxiety. First, I want you to know that you're not alone. Anxiety is a normal human reaction, and it's impacting many of us, especially with this ongoing pandemic. And yes, I'm a board certified internal medicine physician, and yes, I can prescribe medications, and I can talk to you about SSRIs and benzos for anxiety, but that's not the focus today. My intention is to offer you a different perspective on anxiety and to let you know that there are other options around it if that's something of interest. And as with everything I share, I want you to take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because the most important thing is that you find what works for you. So, what is anxiety? Well, I see anxiety as a feeling of worry that actually comes from a fear of the unknown. And why it happens is because the human brain craves familiarity. And the goal of the brain is to help us survive. And so anything that feels unsafe or scary is going to cause panic and stress. And unfortunately, this often leads to this continuous cycle where when you start feeling more anxious, your body might tense up as a response. And then your shoulders might get tight. You might feel more pain. Maybe you feel nauseous, all the things. And it triggers more stress and more anxiety. And you see how this really leads us to this like snowball effect and ongoing worsening anxiety, right? So in order to stop and break the cycle, the solution is to practice mindfulness. And mindfulness is this process of paying attention on purpose. And I'm going to break it down into two components, looking at the mind and the body. So first, I want you to know that anxiety is actually a feeling you get when you have thoughts that make you feel anxious. So generally, these are thoughts that make you feel like you're lacking control over something. Make sure to watch my video on what is coaching so that you get the details on this framework. But anyway, so when you notice the thoughts that you're thinking that are triggering your anxiety, it's actually very powerful because you can question and change to different thoughts instead. So this is a practice and it gets easier over time. But imagine, let's say, you just started a new position and you're feeling anxious, and it might be from the thought that I'm worried I'm not going to do a good job in this new position, right? And that's going to make you feel anxious. Versus if you have the thought, I'm going to figure out and do everything I can to make sure I do a good job at my new position, that thought is oftentimes more empowering and can lead you to feeling confident instead, right? So do you see how depending on what you're thinking and believing, you're going to experience a different feeling? So that's number one, learn to change your thoughts. And then number two is you actually have to connect to your body. So the mind and the body are not separate. And I want you to start to see words as the language of the mind and feelings as the language of the body. So a lot of times, anxiety actually builds up because we're not paying attention. Maybe we're not processing and releasing it in an effective manner. And so it actually builds up and increases over time, right? So in order to help you stop and process the anxiety, you actually have to know what it feels like in the body. Otherwise, it just stays stuck. So for example, some may feel anxiety in the chest or maybe in the stomach. And I'm going to take you through a quick exercise now to show you how to process anxiety. So think back to a time when you were feeling anxious. And this can be something recent, something from a while back. Just think back to a time when you were feeling anxious. And then I want you to pay attention to how you feel in your body. So I want you to acknowledge and label the sensation as anxiety. So saying something like, this is anxiety. This is anxiety in my chest. This is anxiety in my shoulder. This is anxiety in my hands, wherever it is, but using the framework and sentence that this is anxiety. Because I want you to start noticing and seeing yourself as an observer. So you are not your anxiety. You are experiencing sensations of anxiety in your body. And the sensations can be things like tingling, warmth, pain, tightness, right? Whatever it is, warmth, just start to pay attention. And once you can identify this sensation in your body, I want you to direct your breath to the area where you feel the anxiety. And then just breathe, really directing breath into that area, right? Be in the moment, taking an inhale through the nose. Exhale, open mouth, letting it go. Okay, just continuing to do this, breathing, feeling the sensations, letting it be there, not wanting to fight against it or to distract from it, right? Just let it pass through you. See it as a wave that's washing over you, okay? And you know that most of the time, it actually takes less than 90 seconds for the emotion to pass through you. A lot of times, much quicker than that. So the more you can distance yourself and observe, the more you actually have control over the situation, right? You're not kind of caught up in all the messiness, right? So remember that anxiety stems from feeling like you don't have control over something and there's all the uncertainty. But the good news is you actually do have control. So today I shared the 2 keys, right? First is looking at your thoughts as the root cause. And then second, learning to process and release the feeling from your body so it doesn't hold you back. Okay. Now, if you want more tips on how to create your own calm, make sure to grab my free guide below and join my weekly newsletter where I share my best resources to help you live your best life with ease. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so that you can get more helpful tips coming your way. I'll see you next time.